Hi everyone, myself Saranya, Assistant Professor from SNS College of Allied Health Science, Coimbatore. Today we are going to discuss about a very interesting organ which is heart. So what is heart? Heart is the hollow muscular organ which is located in the middle mediastinum, which is located on the chest between the two lungs. This is a very important organ in your human body. Why? Because it gives blood supply and oxygen supply to all the tissues of the body. It supplies the brain perfusion and also to the organ perfusion. So this happens with the help of heart. So this is totally made up of a muscle. So it is called as a muscular organ. And it is a hollow inside where it fills with the blood. So it is called as hollow muscular organ. When describing about its shape, we'll tell this as a conical shape with an base and apex. Here you can see the apex and the top region is called as base. So how this is a mannerism of the structure. And you can see the surface and borders of the heart here. This is called as an anterior surface, and when I tilt it back you can see the posterior surface, and this down area of the heart which is called as inferior surface where the heart resting in the diaphragm region, and this is called as a superior surface where the great arteries and the veins will be supplying to all the tissues of the body. So we'll talk about the heart. It has four chambers. It has four valves. What are the four chambers are? It is right atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. All these four are separated and is not connected. It's just connected with the help of valve alone. These four chambers are distinct and separated with the help of a septum, which is called as interatrial septum and which is called as interventricular septum. Interatrial septum will divides the atrium and the interventricular septum will divides the ventricle. When you talk about the external features of the heart, you can see the coronary arteries supplying in the heart. These coronary arteries are embedded in the myocardial surface with the help of an sulci or a groove. This sulci or a groove is a place where the coronary arteries will be traveling and supplying a blood to the heart. This is called as a blood supply of the heart. So when you talk about the outer surface, you will talk about the covering of a heart. Heart is covered securely in your body so that it will not get damaged much. So in front it has a sternum and the costal cartilages in the ribs which will protect the heart from getting an external shock from the environment. And this is covered by a layer called as pericardium. Pericardium is a covering of a heart which covers the pericardium, and it has a pericardial fluid which helps to absorb the shock waves from the external environment, and it supports the heart to be in a floating phase where your heart is about 250 to 300 grams of weight. When you talk about the internal features of the heart, I'll show you the internal features here. So the chambers of the heart are, there are four chambers. It is right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and the left ventricle. All these four chambers are separated with the help of interventricular septum and the interatrial septum. Interventricular septum will separate the right and the left ventricle, and interatrial septum will separate the right atrium and the left atrium. How this chambers receives blood and how it transmits the blood outside the body, that we are going to see now. So the heart will receive the deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava, that is from the upper body, and inferior vena cava from the lower body. Where this deoxygenated blood will be receiving to the right atrium, it will drastically move into the right ventricle. So through right ventricle, it has a valve which is called as tricuspid valve. The tricuspid valve will permit the flow of blood from right atrium to the right ventricle. When there is no pathological features in the heart, it is a unidirectional flow of blood from the right atrium to the right ventricle. From this, the right ventricle will passes the blood to the pulmonary artery. You can see a pulmonary artery here, which is in blue color. This pulmonary artery will be of two, which is right pulmonary artery and the left pulmonary artery, to the lungs. So the deoxygenated blood now reaches the lungs. From the lungs, it will be carried to the heart. When coming, it will be an oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood will be coming to the left atrium. So left atrium is actually located on the posterior side. Why? Because your heart will be like somewhat tilted, and the actual structure of the left atrium will be seen on the posterior side of the heart. So the left atrium will receive the oxygenated blood. From that it will pass through the left ventricle with the help of a mitral valve and the pulmonary valve. So from the left ventricle, the blood move on to the aorta, which is the biggest artery in our body, which carries the oxygenated blood to all the parts of the body, where it has different branches, this ascending, arch, and the descending. Ascending will carry the blood, arch will give the blood to the brain region, and the descending will carry the oxygenated blood to the lower body regions. This is how the making of heart is like this. So what I'm going to say about is how this heart having a complex function and how it beats and how it functions. It all depends upon the specified cells which is present in the heart, which is called as a pacemaker cells, which carries the impulse throughout the heart where it helps the muscles to pump and to eject the blood out. Hope you have understood this topic, and about the properties of cardiac muscle we will see on the next video. Thank you for listening.